Next guest joins the morning show. He's a clinical pharmacist, nutritionist, author to boot, here to talk about how important our gut health is to our overall health and certainly more. Let's talk to you. Cracking the Metabolic Code, one of your latest works. Our topic today, eat, move, chill, best and worst belly habits. Goodness gracious. James, we'll call you Jim LaValle. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for you and obviously the conversation we have an internationally recognized clinical pharmacist. As I mentioned, your naturopathic doctorate, more than 35 years in the clinical experience. You've worked with what? NFL Hall of Fame, the NBA, MLB, and more?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time working in the pro athlete space, but really 80% of my practice over the last 35, 40 years has just been everyday people that have problems. They have irritable bowel. They're more prone to colds and flu. They're stressed out. They're not sleeping well. Their joints hurt. So it's one of those situations where even great athletes have the same issues that us everyday folks have when we don't take care of our belly, when we don't understand the impact of what we're eating, how it affects our beneficial flora in our gut, how do we manage our stress. All of these things have a huge impact on our immune system and whether or not we're triggering inflammation or not in our body.
Yes, let's get into some of the science and more. Good and bad bacteria in the gut. Do we need both, and do they work together?
Yeah, well, they really don't work together. I mean, ideally, your gut will be populated with beneficial flora, and you'll have a diversity of beneficial flora, meaning you'll have a nice population of different kinds of good bugs. The bad bugs are there, and they're there for a reason, but they need to be contained. And what happens is when you eat diets that are higher in refined sugar, higher in, really refined carbohydrates, but even if you're just too carby in general, or if you're eating a high saturated fat diet, those can throw off your beneficial flora. And why that's important, the beneficial flora has even been shown to have an impact on, say, for example, the flu bug. So, when people took a probiotic, this was like a college student study. They gave it to them during finals, and it was during the winter quarter when everybody gets the flu, and 34% reduction in symptoms, a decrease in incidence of colds and flu, and then the severity was also decreased because it went down by 2 days. So I think we think of when beneficial flora is good, that means that, our bowel habits are good. The way I like to say it to my patients is you're pooping well, but it's more than that. A lot of people now, and I mean it, universities like Harvard are publishing studies showing that when your bacteria is off, it can lead to conditions like irritable bowel, even autoimmune disorders, mood disorders. There's a lot of different things that it can impact. And the obvious is that your immune system becomes compromised.
Yes, thank you for that reminder. So give me a couple ways we can, make our healthy belly habits into our daily routine. What should I be eating, and how should I be moving?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is eat a lot of fiber. So you can get prebiotic fiber, apples, artichokes, green leafy vegetables, oatmeal. Those are great foods that will help feed the beneficial flora by providing something called prebiotics. And prebiotics are the fibers that feed your beneficial flora. It helps them to grow. You can also eat things like fermented foods, right? Sauerkraut, kimchi. That's a great way to do it. I'm not big on dairy because a lot of people have dairy intolerances or dairy allergies. So I tend to try to get them to eat more plant-based foods to get their gut flora to be built up better, and take a probiotic. I mean, there's one called the Friendly Trio that actually has been studied in humans. It was the one that was studied in that university study. Human strain flora, been studied in human beings, shows improvement in gut and immune improvement in cold and flu. Really like that. Now, in terms of moving, interestingly, When you exercise, you actually improve the diversity of your gut flora, and it doesn't have to be intense exercise. Well, they've shown, they did a study on rugby players that that were training really hard, that their diversity of their gut flora was better than those that were sedentary. They also showed a study in women who were doing more moderate exercise that their diversity improved. So certainly in these times, more people are out walking. I think it's a great idea to get out there and walk, keep all your, the social distance and all the cues that you've been told to do, by our public health sector. But moving improves your immunity. So incredibly important to do that. The third piece, obviously, is you have to understand that when you're under stress, and a lot of us are experiencing this today, even to the point of anxiety, stress equals less diverse gut flora. So you actually affect your immune system when you're under stress. When you're under stress and you're eating sugar, you're going for comfort food, your key killer cells of your immune system, they get lazy. They don't want to attack anything. So I emphasize to people, especially now, get up, do deep breathing technique, put a little yoga class or some kind of stretching on the TV, find a channel that's doing that for you, or get a tape or get an app, whatever you need to do, stay moving and learn how to breathe deep. A simple way to do it, 4 breaths in, hold 4 count, 4 breaths out, hold 4 count. It's called box breathing. Reset your nervous system. That's going to help the diversity of your gut.
Nice, talking healthy belly habits and more. Jim LaValle on the line, clinical pharmacist, nutritionist, author, Cracking the Metabolic Code. With just a couple minutes left, Jim, remind me about Cracking the Metabolic Code. What's the essence here with your latest?
Well, the biggest thing is I'm trying to teach people that, why problems happen in your body is because of metabolic inflammation, or a term that's in medicine now called metaflammation. What are the things that cause me to create my immune system to trigger low-grade inflammation? So it's things like diet, stress, exercise, environmental exposure, maybe the drug history that you've had. You could have been on certain drugs that could affect your microbiome. That's called drug-induced microbiome disruption. You could have drug nutrient depletions that occur. It could be genetic, could be issues. A lot of people don't understand what's the right things to do for them. I teach doctors all over the world how to incorporate lifestyle medicine into their programs, and you have to do it in an organized way, and you've got to be able to show people that they improve the way they feel, and that's what the Metabolic Code is all about.
Awesome. How do we find out more about your work and continue this conversation?
Well, you can go to probiotics.com. I'm a guest, advisor for there, and then jimlaval.com is another website that basically kind of goes through my stuff and what I'm doing. Then obviously, if people are interested in Metabolic Code, we actually have a website on Metabolic Code.
Awesome. I like this. One of the 50 most influential pharmacists named by American Druggist Magazine. Keep up your good work, Jim, and take care.